I assume that applause was for Hege, not for my brilliant thank you. I think I'll take issue with Hege on one point. Johan, the situation in Norway isn't that rosy. There are some diehards, and I may remind Hege that we are going to a meeting tomorrow where we are definitely going to meet some of those old creeps that so and also I think there is this hatred building up among some clinicians to the Cochrane tradition, and I think I understand that. For those of us that live in the back rooms and in the labs, it's so easy to say, aha, so you've been doing that for 20 years? Surprise, surprise, it was of no use. It doesn't cost me anything to say that, except a couple of friends. Chronic low back pain I'll go through very fast, and I'll recommend the Back Pain Europe web page. And Johan covered very much of this. And I think I'll skip the investigations. But for the prevention group, we recommend exercise. And as Hege also said, we don't know anything except for the fit. And I think the fit is important. We see in randomized studies that if you are randomized to a type of exercise that you like, the results are better within that group. There's no way to cope with that in randomized studies except to look if the fit is good or if it's not good. That's a part of the randomization. But if the fit is good, the result is good. So it has to do with getting all the players on the same side, the patient and the therapist. And there's a great danger in that is that if there is no real effect of the treatment, then this fit may make both parties feel that it is a good treatment, like Sloan's liniment for horse and cattle. But even if those that sold the Sloan's liniment for horse and cattle and those that used the Sloan's liniment for horse and cattle agree that it was a good treatment, it wasn't. We do recommend cognitive behavioral treatment. And I think the most interesting part of this are the brief educational or brief fear reduction or brief motivational aspects. As a matter of fact, some of the very best results we've seen in Norway is on the brief education. And actually, I'm not quite sure it is so good for a low back patient or any muscle pain patient to sit for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days and talk about low back pain. What the heck are we going to talk about next week? Well, probably going to be low back pain again. And you get a kind of attention that we try to avoid in the cognitive behavioral treatment. Emphasis is then on reassurance and positive messages, and you can get a very long way with an effective brief intervention if it is followed by an offer of follow-up and that you can call us at any time. The multidisciplinary biopsychosocial rehabilitations. And again, we are not quite sure which of the components are effective, and it might also be that it is this patient-specific aspects of it. There's a lot to be done still on that. Then there are some of the medical aspects of the treatment that you will find there. I think I'll skip that. But we do not recommend this endless use of X-rays. I think that the main reason to send a patient to X-rays or MRIs, that's the psychological aspects. But it is sort of weird to use these big machines as a psychological treatment of the patient. But I think that's what's going on. And sometimes then also of the therapist. We do not recommend EMGs. They may be fun. And we do not recommend back schools, mainly because of when the curriculum in a school is bad, then the school is bad for you. We cannot recommend spinal palpatory tests. And Hege, we have another sad news when it comes to manipulations. We know that it has no effect on nothing. The chiropractors mean something else. And here is your great thing next time you're going to bash Norway. The medical school in Oslo, mind you, we're from Bergen. The medical school in Oslo has this great fascination for chiropractics. And when we ask them, well, it hasn't been shown to have any effect, they say, we don't mind. I think I'm getting angry when I think, oh, that's why I'll go on, because I don't think I should. We cannot recommend, and have your pick here. And you have 1 minute to read this. We cannot recommend, and the list is long. And we cannot recommend, and we can recommend.